drafted 52nd overall to the Pistons. What did that moment feel like with everything that had happened before that, from high school to the transferring to Georgetown in Florida? What did that moment feel like, finally, getting your name called?
It was, I want to say this the right way, not the wrong way. It was a gift, but it was like, for me, it was like, I once again didn't live in the moment. I felt like, oh man, I'm here finally. And that was the wrong thing for me to do. I should have just been like, all right, now it's time for me to put the work in. But I felt like, man, I done been through all of that. And
Right.
now I got my name called, and then it just so happened I get drafted into the NBA lockout. But it was a blessing for me, for my family, for the body of work I put in. But once again, I still think I could have done things differently, to stick and stay in the league. But just the whole thought of getting there, when guys told me, when coaches, or when I thought that I wasn't going to get there, and I was able to get drafted and get my degree at the same time, things like that. So that was just, it was a blessing, man. I would say it's a blessing.
Did you
Unbelievable.
feel as though when you got there that it was just like starting over again, in a sense?
Yeah, I didn't, that's how I was supposed to look at it. But I think I looked at it like, I'm here. Like,
Okay.
instead of saying like, all right, you here, now what? I was looking at it like, all right, man, I'm here. Like, what's the chance of me not being here no more? And then,
Right.
that's how fast it happened. You know what I mean? So if I did things differently in that point, I think things would have went differently. But, you know.
What was your rookie year experience like? I know you had Ben Wallace was one of your veterans on the team at the time, which had, an awesome guy to look up to. What was it like being a rookie under such a presence like as him?
Oh man, it was amazing. It was to the point where, Ben was 37, 36, 37 at the time. And this guy would be, if not first, second guy at the gym. Him and Damian Wilkins used to get to the gym early. Like, those are the older guys. And I'm still in the mindset of, all right, practice started 12, I get here at 11, it's still an hour before, it's still cool. Like, those guys was there dripping in sweat, already worked out like an hour and a half before the time I got there. Got a lift in, getting some little treatment in. Like, it was, and Ben was one of those guys that he used to make little, he was serious, but he'd make a little joke, because he'd be like, hey, young fella, I don't supposed to keep beating you here. Like, you know what I mean? And that's how he was. Like, you know what I mean? He knew he wasn't gonna play a lot of minutes, but for him, like, his whole regiment of the league, that's how he's been. He get in there, he get his weights in. Even though he's not a shooter, he up there getting out shots, he working out. Like, he was a guy who I was like, man, this guy really is a professional. You know what I mean? Like, this is how you're supposed to do it. So that was great with that.
How did that, watching him, how did that, or just the other guys that you're around, help you get a new perspective on how you need to carry yourself, moving forward for the rest of your professional career?
Honestly, until, man, like, I was still mentally, like, I was still had a lot of stuff I was thinking about, as opposed to, like I said, living in the moment. So now that's something I've been doing overseas for the last few years of my career, like, getting there early, working out. But even when I was there and I was watching these guys do it, I'm like, man, like, what y'all doing? Why y'all getting here so early? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, I still wasn't living in that moment. Like, I still was like, yo, these guys is here 2 hours before, staying an hour out. I'm trying to get back to my nice spot. So that's the thing. That's the thing that was kind of that was my other problem as well. But if I would have, I believe if I had done that then, I would have stayed. But that was what it was. But for my overseas career, that's been a reason why I've been able to, you know, sustain nice jobs, play well, take care of my body, because at that time I wasn't doing that, but I was watching these guys do it. Treatment when they don't have to, working out when they don't have to. So now that's something I do. You know what I mean? Been doing this the last almost 8, 9 years, man. Like, since that time.
A lot of people that haven't seen you physically in a while might not recognize that you've gotten so much slimmer. What are you weighing? What you weighed around 245, 250 in college. What are you weighing right now?
225, 230.
How?
I had for me, like, once again, my 245, like, I even got in Japan, I was up to 270. I got bad, it was bad weight. You know what I mean? So I wasn't jumping how I was supposed to jump as I started getting older. So when I came home and this whole pandemic happened, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get more leaner. I'm gonna eat right. I started my conditioning. I work out. I like to run. We'll get some miles in. So that started, when I started doing that, I started feeling better and I started moving better and moving lighter. So that's why I decided to shed some few pounds. But like now I'm starting to put the weight back on now, from actually, lifting more and being during season. But I got all the way down to 220, bro.
Was that your
220.
goal to get down that low, just to kind of see how you would feel?
I did it not knowing. Like, I just stepped on the scale, like, man, like 220. I kind of scared me a little bit. So it wasn't really a goal. It was just like, I just want to be whatever it takes for me to be in shape and stop eating late at night, eating bad food, snacks, drinking juices. So I just stuck to like water. I was drinking just water. It was like all water for months on end. You know what I mean? So that's what helped.
What did you do to learn more about your health? And because this kind of stuff is, I think college, they do a great job of facilitating and giving you all these things, but the educational route and understanding and knowing, like, what I need to do for my body and what foods affect inflammation and when I need to eat, and like, what did you do to learn all that stuff?
I would say I did a little bit of like just research. Some guys was doing the whole vegan. I didn't go, that far. But like you said, inflammation, like, it was certain things that just like had my knee feeling like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm putting so much pressure on my knee. So when I started looking into that, I was like, all right, cool. I stayed off the sugar like that. You know what I mean? So when I started realizing I'm not eating all this sugar, I'm not doing all this late night eating or all this heavy meats, like, it really started helping me, and as honest as a joke, but I'm serious. Like, my first time having a six pack was during the pandemic. Like, look, I never had, you see me in college, like, I never, I used to joke about you was cut all up like 300. But like, my first time getting that was like during the pandemic, man. Like, I was just like literally taking care of everything. And I realized, because everything I was eating was just sitting in my stomach, you know what I mean? Obviously. And I could never get one, but I finally ended up getting, from eating the right things and researching.